Oh, okay.
But I just have it sitting up here for
Okay.
space.
Okay.
This comes out, and you can put other ones in.
Okay.
The only thing is, and then you write on what's on them. And the
Right.
way you can tell what's on them is when they boot up, then you close this, see?
So what's in there now? Just
Okay, Linda Lou. Up here, about this Macintosh, that's where you go and find what kind of machine you have. This is a Mac 2X, and I added a Daystar accelerator. It's a 040 accelerator. It's a Daystar. I'm going to give you the book for that too. So that makes this machine work faster, okay? It shows you have 20 megs of memory, and this is how much the system is taking up right here. So you have like 17, 17, almost 500 of useful memory. So that's very good for running Photoshop or a lot of programs. So that's very good, okay? Okay, a few basics. Here's your control panels. Well, the control panels are open right now. I'm going to close them. All right, the 160. These little icons represent, see if I close this, that represents the hard disk that's on your computer. It's like the trunk of your car, or think of it as a drawer. That's where all the software goes. Some people still call that how many megs of, how big is your hard drive. A lot of times they still call it megabytes or memory, but don't get that confused with the RAM, the random access RAM. You know what we said up here that you had how much memory you had, 20 megs. That's more like your pistons in your car, so to speak, or part of the motor, okay? So, and this, anytime you see a little icon over here, it represents another drive of some kind, okay? Now this one, this drive here, you can name it whatever you want, okay? This is, when we open it up, you double click something to open it up. You double click, okay? And this says family photos, Margaret. You know, I'm going to leave this on here. You can erase these if you want to erase it, okay? The value of this is, I have a whole bunch of these things. They used to cost like 65 bucks a piece or so. That drive was like, it's up here. It was like $500. I got it when it came down cheap, you know, but that's been years now. So now you can buy a zip drive, which is on my other machine. They're very little devices, and they cost like $130 now. But they even hold 100 megabytes. And the little discs are only $15 or $20, whereas these things cost like 60, you know, old technology. But they're still very good because it'll give you more space. So each one holds 44 megabytes. So a lot of times what we're going to do is we're going to make you a backup system folder. Okay, the system folder is what makes your machine work. It's sort of like the key, okay? So go back to this. Like I said, the way to open something is you double click it, okay? Or if you want to, you could go over here. But the thing is, it has to be selected. See, if nothing's selected, nothing happens to anything, okay? But once you select something, and selecting something means just like clicking on it, not double clicking it, okay? And then you can come over here, and I think File will say open, see? So you got two ways of doing it. And of course, the easy way is to just double click it, right? Now the other way, to change the size of a window, you can do this. You hit that one, and it makes it real big. Okay, you hit that one, it'll make it smaller. You hit that one, and it closes it. So anytime you want to close something, you just, I always tell, you know, hit the hole, you know, click on the hole. So again, you can double click and open it up. And also, the other way you can change the size, I usually don't double click on these things. I just usually drag them open or whatever. So what do you want to do that for? See, sometimes if you had more drives on there, you want more space. See, this is what it's good for. So you can double click on that one. Now you can see what's on each hard drive, one at a time. And just, you know, so that's one little drawer. Just think of it as a drawer where stuff is stored, only it's electronic, and your other drawer is inside of there. So now you can see what's on both of them. You see? Now, you always keep the system folder, though, on the disk. It's in the machine, the startup disk, okay? You keep it in there, okay? Now, we're going to make up a backup. We're going to make a backup system folder. Why don't we take, I'll let you have this disk, because there might be something on there that you want to play with and then throw it away. You can show it, because, you know, it's got some drawings on there. It's got, like, paintings and stuff. Well, you'll be able to open up and look at it in color, okay? So why don't we, to get it off of there, we can either hit Command, you know, that little Command key, the Apple key, Command E, once it's selected. If it's not selected, nothing happens to nothing. Now, this one doesn't pop out by itself, like some do. So again, you come up here. Come on, Mom, so you can come up here with your camera. It's okay, you don't have to turn it off. You don't have to be fancy editing. Okay, up here, now all you do is you push this button, because we ejected it, and then you just go like, see now the red light's running. Okay, stop, now you can just go and just eject it. Okay, now, stop that. Okay, Mom, why don't you pause it a sec? Anyway, you get this here, and see the arrows right there, and see that's got that little groove there, you know. So you see this thing like the back of it when you're putting it in. So you put it in that way, you slide it in there, and then you just push that forward. Okay? And now it's booting up. That's the red little thing flashing. Now, sometimes they'll boot right up. I think it did. If it doesn't, just wait till the green light comes on. See, the green light has to come on. See, it's booting up. You can hear it. It takes a while. Okay, now, say if it's some reason it don't come up, what you can do is just restart the machine. Go over here, go to File. Oh wait, where is the restart? Restart is over under Special. Just go down and restart it. Okay? And then, all right. On that point, when you start up your Mac, what to do is, since you're going to have, this is called the SideQuest Removable, 44 megabyte. Since you're going to have that on your system, you're going to have the scanner on your system. Okay? Later you can add other things, and Matt can show you how to daisy chain them or whoever, because they're pretty easy. The first thing you do is turn on, they call those peripherals, the add-on things to your machine, just a fancy name. But turn on your other things first. You just go to the power switch in the back, which we'll show you later when we go over there, okay? Then you come over here and just hit the power, this is the on here, see? And if you want, we can put a piece of tape on there. See, for now. This tape is not the greatest tape, so you might want to put better tape. Okay? And then you just put, because there are a lot of buttons on here, and this would be, see, on would be right there. That's the power. Okay? Now one other little trick, in fact I just learned it. Another way to restart your Mac without going up there, you know, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can hit this key and this key, and hit and you hit the power key. There, I just did it. See? So this key,
What are they? What the
they
keys
restart
names?
it.
What are the keys' names?
It's control. Command, which is the Apple key, and the power key. Okay, and that'll start it up too. So in fact, I just learned that. So that's the kind of stuff. But one thing about the Mac, it's nice. Like I told you, a lot of times I even forget what's what, but it's all written up there. All you got to do is scroll along there, and you'll find it, whether it's start up, restart, or whatever. So you don't have to worry about like really remembering that well, because you don't have to. It's not like a command. Like in Windows, you have to learn some of these commands a lot of times. You know. You can hit pause if you want. You don't. Well,
I can. Okay.
okay, you don't need a light. Now, as the machine's booting up, this tells you what inits you have working. These are like extra things, okay, that they're all active, okay? And these give you features on your Mac. So I'll have to...
Should I go take it out?
You can hit pause and whatever.
Just so it doesn't...
Okay, as you can see, when we restarted it, it did come up like it was supposed to. Now that one was called graphics program, so we don't need these things on here. So what I'm going to do is, you click on the one you choose, the one you click on is the one you're working with. See, if I come over here, I can work with that one. If I click on this one, I can work with this one. Now, I can either throw each thing away by itself. See? That's drag and put in the trash can. Or I can say, see, this is selected, remember that. And the way you can tell what's selected is by, you see the little line. See, if I go over here, the lines go away from that. You see what I mean? So you can tell what's selected. So I'm selecting that. Now I can do Command, again, your Apple key, all, which will select them all. And I just select one and throw these all in the trash. Okay, now all I have to do is come up here and say empty trash. Okay? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, if you're having a trouble getting rid of everything, I won't go into the details, but a helpful hint is just hold the Option key when, I'll show you, when it says, do you want to empty, when you want to empty, the next window. Okay, just keep the Option key down and it'll generally get rid of everything. No, see, it always asks you, and then you say OK. And OK is, you can either click on OK, or you can hit return, which is the same thing. Okay, now it's gonna throw that stuff away off your disk. Now it's gonna be it's gonna be 44 megabytes of storage. Now you can put whatever you want to put on it. Now what we're gonna do is make you a backup system. Since my system's a little unique, I will give you all the software, but this will make it easy for you in case you have a problem. I'll show you what you have to do because this is kind of important. Okay, so what you do is, all right, this disk is now empty. Okay, so let's give it a name right off the bat. The way you give it a name is just click on it like I did. Once that's all red, okay, you can just type in. So you can put we can put back slash backup system folder. We didn't really have to have it all caps, but okay, makes no difference. All right, so now we gave it a name. So what we're going to do is find a system folder over here on your main disk. Now we click on it, we go to system folder, we're going to take this and we're going to drag it over there. That's easy as heck. Okay, just drag it and drop it. Okay, it's preparing the copy, and now you'll see okay, we'll let that work and we'll take a break. Copied everything over, and it has the same, it says system folder here. So what I'm going to do is, I clicked on it, I'm going to put in that little I-beam there, it's a text tool in all the programs. Okay, it looks like a little side view of an I-beam. I'm going to put B/U system folder. That way, if you happen to have both of these disks on here at the same time, see, when your Mac starts, it looks for a system folder. And if it sees two system folders, it can get very confused. So by putting backup in front of it, you know, you can name it anything you want. Linda's good folder. That you know that's the backup, that's my good folder. Then once you transfer it, which I'll show you how to do, you just rename it system folder when it's the only one it's going to look for. You see what I mean on your main drive? You see? You can't have more than one system folder on your machine or your Mac gets confused. That's what it amounts to. So that's why when we call this backup, it's not even it's going to ignore that one. It's not even going to mess with that. Okay? So say for example that all of a sudden you think something's wrong with your machine starting acting bad, and you know you've checked different things. What you can do is you can come over here. Well, excuse me now. Well, your system folder's down here. Okay, so you'll go up here and you'll hit control panels. Okay? And what you'll do is you'll say, you'll look for startup disk. See startup disk right here? You double click on that. And it gives you a choice. All you do is you'd switch to that one. See, the one that says backup your other. See, that's your 160 megabyte hard drive. That's where your system folder is, but it's giving you a problem. You switch to this, okay, and restart your Mac like we did before. And what it'll do is it'll start off of that machine. It'll start off of that one, that other drive. It won't start off of the one inside of here. Okay? Mm-hmm. And what you can do is throw the old one in the trash and empty it. Then go back to the control panel and select and go to startup disk again, and then select this one and start up the machine. And now it'll start back up on the other one. You see? That's one way. Another way is I'm going to give you the disk for this thing, the system disk, and there's one, and Matt probably knows this. It's called Disk Tools. Okay? You'll stick that in here. Okay? And then you go to, when you go to startup disk, when you go to control panels, and you go to startup disk, it will show you the other disk that's in the machine. And it'll say System Tools disk, which has a very little system folder. It wouldn't run all your stuff, but it's enough just to start the machine up. It boots their machine up. See, as you add things to your Mac, that goes in certain parts in your system folder that you'll learn about, and it lets you use those things. The little system folder that goes on the little floppy disk is a very basic thing. It won't run all the features we have on our Mac that we've added. That's what it amounts to. But it's enough to start up from. So when it restarts, it'll start up from that little disk. And again, you'll throw away the system folder that you think is bad. You follow me? Then you'll reinstall the new one from the other disk, okay? And you just restart the machine, okay? All right, so we got the backup system folder on there. Okay, now we're going to try something else. Okay, what are we going to show you here? You go to the control panels. Okay, conflict catcher is a thing here. Let's see if that'll come up. Okay, conflict catcher is a utility that lets you turn things on and off. Okay, so I'm not going to go into all of that with you, right now, because what it amounts to is you click on that, it'll go on. You can do it, or it'll go off. That means when you restart your Mac, these things you won't be using these. It's a good way to save memory and stuff. Okay. Actually, that one should be on there. Now, just briefly, the things that are unique on this machine are now Sigma hardware init. There's a little board in this Mac that makes which I'll show you. There's a program on here that will collapse the program and let you get twice as much onto a disk. So that means you could really get about 88 megabytes on one of those disks instead of 44. And it also would double the space on your hard drive. Now, I've done it manually, which we'll get to and I'll show you. So that's one unique thing. These other things are pretty much every Mac has it. CD remote. See, that makes your CD work. If we turn that off and restarted your Mac, your CD would not work. So that's what these things do here. This disk doubler, and they call them inits, which this is a brief word for an initiator or something. It's an init. That lets disk doubler work also, that program, okay? And that's something that's installed in your machine. Okay, Mac Link Plus is put on here because that opens up other programs like PC programs and stuff. You can't run them, but you can look at, like if somebody had a PC disk that was WordPerfect or Word, you could open up their Word, you could look at the letter or whatever the document is. Okay, stuff you can learn more about that on your own, I'm sure. See, CD text, see anything that says CD, okay? Now this is important. This is something you have that most Macs don't have. It's a color space board. There's a board in here that will let us capture. You could do a presentation in PowerPoint or something like that, or you could retouch something. You can put it out to video. We'll show you that when we get to it. Okay. Mode 32 has to be on this machine to work, to be able to use more than 8 megs of RAM. If that's not on here, this machine is older. Apple came out with this thing that you put that in your system folder, and it gives you that function that you can use more than 8 megs of RAM. So that's how you get to use more than 8 megs of RAM. Okay? All right, let's go. Let's try this bit now. So you can, if you want to, you can save a set. I'm not going to get bogged down in this with you. I'm going to try to get you. I don't know if I have a book on this one, to tell you the truth, Linda. But you won't have to mess with this. This is down the road, because I might eventually get a new version myself or something. But Apple has something. This gets real high marks. What this is good for though is, say you didn't need your CD for whatever you were doing, you can turn off things that you didn't want to use and like save well, you're not saving electricity, you're saving memory. Say you needed some memory in some other area for something to run Photoshop only or something, you could turn off the things you weren't using. That's what I do when I do my editing. I have one just for my editing, and I turn off all the things I don't want. And what it does is it preserves memory on my machine. So I have one setting, editing, and one setting just regular. That's what it boils down to. Okay? So we'll close this here. Okay? All right, we close the control panels. Okay, we are going to go, the way you do the color space here, you go to color space, You click on it. You go up here and you put interlaced. All right, see it's set right now, it's set on non-interlaced, okay? You go up here and you hit non-interlaced. Oh, excuse me. All right. And you keep it on 640 by 480, okay? And you always keep this on multi-sync because this is a multi-sync monitor. That's why, you know, when I bought it, it was more expensive because most monitors don't do this. They don't go, what I'm going to show you, they don't do it, okay? So now you go to interlaced, which is video. Now what happens is, and hopefully this hookup will work. Where's my wires here? If you want to pause it a second, you can. So after we did that, your machine is in this mode right now. Okay? So why don't we do this? I'm going to go to the program that you can use. One of the programs. Let's go to Director. Go to Director. I'll open Director. It's a multimedia program for making multimedia things. There it goes. Now what it amounts to is, on this color space board, you'll see two wires coming out. They're marked. One says color space video output. One says color space video input. You take the output and put it into your video, into your tape recorder, or your tape, or your camcorder. Now you can see there what you're doing over here. That's how I used to work. I didn't have this configuration, but now here's what it does too. You notice that you can't see the other parts on the Mac up there? You can't see that? The reason it's set that way is because when you hit play, which we don't have anything open, let me open something. Let's go for open. Let's open something. Hopefully it'll have something on here we can open. Sample movie, okay? And say open. Now of course you'd have to learn how to use the program, but that's another. Close this. Now, one simple thing on this, if you hold down the shift key and hit play, I'm pretty sure this window goes away. It's been a while since I used it. Yeah, now that's going away, right? Now you hide your mouse, so you'd hide this, you'd hide the cursor. Now, you could put this on videotape. Okay? And all you'd have to do is, on your Mac, which anybody's basic with Mac can show you that, there's a sound out. All you do is run the sound out wire from that into the sound in on your tape recorder. You see, because right now we're not set up for the both. But you'd have picture and sound. And now you can hit record. See, I can hit record now and record this. Okay? Now when this first came out, it was like $1,800. This is like 9 or 10 years ago. So that was a big deal. Okay, in fact, it was only on the Mac side. Now you can buy a device like that for about $300. Okay? So now that means anything you create, you can record. So you or your friends or Sandra or whatever, you can, whatever, you see? You can make a presentation, whatever it is on, in other words, whatever's on your Mac, you can record to tape. Okay? And you see how I did the sound. You'd have to just, on every Mac there's an output on the sound, we just don't have it hooked up. Okay, and somebody could show you how to do that. And then what you do is there's music to this. We don't have it. In fact, I have the speakers off right now. Okay, so that's it. Now, a lot of times you want to quit a program, just hit Command Q, and it'll quit. Okay, I can't teach you how to use Director now because it's a big, but I'll give you some books on Director. It's like an expensive program. It's what they use to create most programs on the Mac and on the PC side. It's called Director. It was Macromind, but now it's. They changed the name of the company, but anyway, we won't go to that. Okay? So that's that. Now, you don't want to be working in this mode all the time because it's like your eyes are wobbling here, right? It's kind of bad. Go up to your control panels, and remember why I told you this is all hidden. They did that on purpose. There's certain places in Director you set your screen for. And the reason it's hidden is because when you hit play, you know what we just did, all you see is what you created. Because nobody wants to see all those little buttons and stuff at the top of their presentation. So we're going to close, so we're going to go up here, we're going to go to control panels, we're going to go to color space alias here, and what we're going to do is we're going to switch the video again. We're going to go to non-interlaced, okay, and now you're back home. That's it. Alrighty? And see now, we can't see a damn thing over here. It's not working right. See, because it's not right. Okay? There was a feature that used to let you take the video and put it into here, but the software is long gone. It's a long story, but that won't work. Now, if you want to pause it a second. I'm going to say cancel. Alright, I'll show you how I got it through Photoshop. I had to set these folders up. Now, there's a thing called on here a quick image. There's a board, when you're getting the manual. It's called Quick Image 24, and you're going to have the manual. When you come around here, I'll show you where to hook it up on your Mac. And my able-bodied assistant was going to show you where it is. You might have to take that off the, I don't know. It's down here. You might have to just take that. All right, on the back of your Mac, while we're here, this is the color space wires, okay? All right, while we're here, let's show her this. I'll turn off this a second. While we're back here, this will stay on your monitor when we pack it, okay? And this, the other end of this goes right into here for your monitor. That's the color space board, okay? And maybe we'll code them for you if you want. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4 or do something. But anyway, you'll have the video. You can see right where it goes. Now this is the color space board. Excuse me, the quick image board. It's made by the same company, Mass Microsystems. We're hooked into the top one. It's a Super VHS thing. It goes from, they sell it in video stores and Radio Shack. It goes in there and it goes into the input, output of your camera. So it goes out of your camera into here, okay? And that's for a regular RCA jack type. And your manual will tell you, I think these are all the Super VHS. We'd have to look. This one here, I don't remember what that is right now. I have to see what that is. We won't concern ourselves with that. Now, and down here, you see you have a little, remember I told you there's a sound thing? This goes to the speakers I'm going to give you. Those speakers have been acting kind of dorky. You might have to get some other speakers. But you can actually get a Y adapter and go from your speakers and then go also into your VCR if you ever record something with sound or something, if you wanted to do the sound. That's for your printer. That's got the little printer icon. That goes in there. And the only thing to do is be careful when you're working with them. Look at the configuration of the pins and make sure they match. You never want to force them or you could wreck them. So you look at the configuration, okay? Now this one here, which is marked 1 and 1, we can keep that. That goes from your Mac. Okay, so where does that go? That comes up here. And that goes right to your SideQuest. Okay? So on the back of these type of things, on everything you add, see what happens is, comes out of your Mac, goes into the SideQuest, okay? And then this one goes out and goes to your CD player, okay? And then it comes out and it goes to your scanner. Well, you're going to give Sandra the CD player, so you're going to have your CPU, which is your computer. It's going to go to your SideQuest drive, and it's going to go to your scanner. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. This will be number 1, and this will be number 2. Actually, you don't even count the first one. Actually, you don't have to. Like the 0, your Mac is 0, and then it's 1, 2. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to change this number from. Right now, this number is on 2. Come here, I'll show you. Watch where you walk. These are little pins. You see these little things?
Yeah.
Well, that one, there's one that's set. It's set at number. It's set into number 1, which is up. You see what I mean? You'll just bring that down and put the 2 one up there, at the top. See what I'm getting at? You see what I'm saying or not?
I think so.
Well, no, but now's the time to look, because you just go up there and look, even if you need a magnifying glass.
Well, I see what you're saying, but I can't
Well, you have
read
to see it. Well, you have to be able to read it.
Turn the video off then.
Huh?
Turn the video off a minute.
No, it's all. No, it's all right. Okay, with this you can turn on a video camera, or you can even put it in the camera mode. We'll put it in the camera mode instead of the VCR mode. It's in the camera mode right now. So what does that mean? That means it's in the camera mode. When I turn it on, I should be able to see something, which right now I'm not, so I'm doing something wrong. Oh, it's because I got it in the wrong mode. It's all right. Camera mode. It's beeping because it's telling me there's no tape in the darn thing. Okay. So for starters, what you can do is, now you're in Photoshop right now, so I have this already set up for you, so nobody would know. I've installed it the right certain way that makes it work, so we won't go into all that right now. So I go down here and it says acquire. So what you're going to do is acquire Quick Image 24, okay? Now, what is it seeing? It's seeing whatever we have here. Linda Lou? See? There you are. See? It sees you. All I have to do is go down here and hit capture. There you are. I get my magnifier now. Now if I want to, I can come over here and
What you see is what you get.
I can put a mustache on you. I can blacken your
All right,
eyes.
come on.
Okay.
Good for
So I'm going to do quit. Well, no, I'm just not going to save this. So what you do is Photoshop. Now, if you wanted to save whatever you were capturing, you just hit Save As and give it a name. All right, we're not saving it, so we're just going to say Close. So we're closing it. Okay? Don't save. Okay? So we're showing you how to capture a regular thing right away. So if you put it in if you had a regular VCR and just hit play, and there was a part you wanted to get, the same thing. So do it one more time. You go to acquire. You go down here to image 24. Now whatever on your tape, you can back it up, whatever, and you do the same thing. See, you have small size, large size. You got all these things. You look in the book. And evidently, the plug that we're in right now is input 1. Because there's another input, say you had 2 camcorders. If we say you didn't get it, see, like if we had the wrong one, if you had the wrong one chosen, it just wouldn't work. So just go up here and go input 1, which you're in. That top one is input 1, evidently. You with me? So then if I want that, I just hit capture. Okay, now, we'll quit Photoshop, so you can see how you can do that. You quit that. We don't want to save it. We don't save. Okay. Now this utility does have one other feature. You don't have to go in through Photoshop. I do it a lot of times through that. You have to look for the program. It's called, where is it? It's not color set. Where is it going? Here it is, Quick Image 24, right here. You go up there. Again, you go up to this little icon versus those little other things. It's like, it'll say application. If you open it up big enough, you'll see the application icon. Okay? Double click on that. That's how you open something. You double click it. All right, this will come up. And there it is. It's playing in there. Now, they have some different ways to configure this. And this is what's neat about it. You can do sequel captures. Okay, you can do it fast, whatever. All right. Now, as this is playing, you could say, there's not much motion in this movie because it's a guy sitting there talking. You can say begin captures. You can look this over, look at the book, but this at least gives you a basic, you know what's in there. I think it's capturing. Yeah, see, that shows you something's happening when that little watch is working. Oh, you know what? We didn't give it a name. So you have to give it a name. Let me see if I can find it. Why don't you put it in pause a second, Mom? Oh wait, it says view quick strips. Go back, I'll try that. You hear? You're back. Okay, I think we'll hit view quick strips. There they are. Now, sake of argument, if you captured somebody moving, obviously they're just standing there. I've captured cartoons and played with them. You know, like on TV, you have a cartoon or something. You just plug into your regular TV out. So whatever, any video sorts. Could be one of those, what do you call them, those fancy players, whatever. As long as it's video out, you can capture it. And then what you can do is you can save this. There's a way you look in there, you'll save it, give it a name. You can actually bring it into Director. You'd have to learn more about that program Director, but it'll actually play it then. Well, you know, but anyway. So you can have a lot of fun with it. It's a very good program. We don't want to save them, so we'll say cancel. We don't want to save that. You'll lose them, it said, because you didn't save them. Okay? See, there's different, well, let's see. Usually what you do is you give a file folder a name. But I'll let you can learn that stuff. Quick strip, save to file, okay. There's other little idiosyncrasies here that you have to learn, little features. Okay, so now we can quit this program again, Command Q. See, because you can see your video still playing, so we didn't turn it off. It does have, as far as, let's see, it does have large or small, I believe, here. Let's see. There's small. When you look in your book, you can capture it in black and white if you want to. Okay? So we'll quit this. Command Q for quit. Okay. I guess what we can do briefly, one thing we can do is tell you about what you have on here, just so you'll know at a glance. Photoshop, you know what that is. That's a retouching program. You have all this PageMaker, that's a layout page. That's a layout program. You lay things out. You can actually bring in documents from PageMaker or other things you created and lay them out. If we have some books or something like that, or you can even buy them in bookstores or whatever. Okay? You got Canvas, it's a very good program. That does all kind of graphics. You got MacLink Plus, that's the kind of program I told you opens, somebody did something in Word on a PC, you can open it up and view it on a Mac. Okay? Color set, okay, we'll have to show her how to use that. I think that's going to be the last part, not real hard, but I'm just trying to show you the things on here. We'll go back to color set because that's unique to this machine also. Okay? This has to do with your system folder, don't even mess with that. Desk scan, okay, that's another, you gotta learn how to scan stuff. Okay, so let's try the scanner routine. Hit the pause a second, we'll put something in the scanner. I'm gonna Okay, we put something in the scanner. Just lift the flap, you know, the bed up and lay it up there. You come down here to Desk Scan, you hit Desk Scan 2, double click it. What's that last time? Now it's taking a little while to come up. I don't see the little clock here. Something wrong. Alright, what's going on? Oh wait, I tell you, I gotta hit preview. Is it on? Yeah, I think I forgot to hit preview. Yeah, I didn't hit preview, so that's why I just sat there. It's like not turning your timer on or something. It just didn't do nothing. So you hit preview, and now you can see it's doing something because the little clock was going. Before it wasn't, so that's how I knew something's happening here. Okay, now you can select, like, there's two pictures on there right now. If you only wanted to scan one, you just go to the top one. If you wanted to scan both of them, or you wanted to, so you can just grab these little ends. See, this will grab the ends. You see it? It'll just grab that thing. So we wanted to scan the bottom picture, right? So we'll say final now. Okay? Now you can change brightness, contrast, all kind of stuff. We're not going to mess with that. Well, but see, you know, and I think you can just go back to the normal settings. Okay, so we won't, well, I messed with them, so I usually wrote down what they were at. You can usually use, but say if there's one you wanted to lighten or darken, you with me? You can do it, okay? And you're going to have the scanner instructions also, alrighty? So now you say final, because this does a few different things. You hit final, and you'll say, what you'll do is, you'll go on your desktop, and you'll find where do you want to save it. You want to save it on the disk with your system folder? You just click on that one. All right, and now you give this a name. So we'll say test scan. Okay, we're going to save it as a TIFT or a PICT or whatever. So we'll just save it as a TIFT right now. That's stuff you'll have to learn about. Okay. But TIFF is what they use for most photographs when they want to print on those stuff. If you want to work with something in Director, you have to save it as a PICT file. It won't work with TIFF files. Okay? Now what would happen is you could now actually you could leave this open. You can look on that disk while that's open, see? And there's the test scan. I double click the test scan. Now the test scan, I think the test scan should open up. Let's quit this here so I don't get confusing. Let's quit this here. Let's just hit test scan. Yeah, it just brought it back in that program. Okay. It's just going to bring it back up in this. Oh, I know what. I'll tell you what. Excuse me, Linda. Okay, that's one way to do it. Now you got that test scan document sitting there. Now what you'd have to do to open it is you go over here, and one way to do it is just go Adobe Photoshop, which is an imaging program. So you just go Adobe Photoshop, you're going to open up the program. Okay, so you're going to say new. You're going to say new. Tell you what, let's back up. Let me just say open. I think I'm just going to go open instead of that. I'm going to go open. Excuse me, let's do that. I'll say open. Now it's going to look for something. So we're going to have to go to our desktop, and we're going to find that it's on your backup system folder disk. You'll double click on that, and there's test scan. Now you can either double click this or hit open. Either one will work. I'm going to double click it. And there it is. Okay? Now you can do whatever you want with this thing. To learn how to use the program. There's all kind of features in there. You can make it lighter, darker, make copies of it, do whatever. You can go crazy. Okay? Now what you do is when you're done with this though, you'll save it as, now what I generally do is save it as a Photoshop thing. So what to do is do save as again. And what I do is so you won't have more than, so you don't get confused, you could just name this, so you saved it in a TIFF, but it's all still going to be a Photoshop document. I'm pretty sure it's going to say you want to replace the other one. You say yes, replace. That means you'll only have one with that name. That's the kind of stuff you'll get, but it can't hurt just to see this though, okay? Now, one other thing on this that'll be very helpful to you. Since you have the right features on your machine, okay, we're going to just say, now it's in your scanner. Now, the other way was the harder way to have to do it, to go to your scanner software. This one, you could just go here and go acquire, and go Twain acquire, okay? That's already set up for you, okay? It goes right to the scanner. I just have to double check this because I haven't used it in a while. I want to make sure it's working. See, it went right to the scanner. So the other one, you know how it works, but don't even use it. This, you went right to the scanning software. You didn't have to do two steps. You see what I mean? The other way, you had to, now you can do what we did before. You can do preview and final and save it in Photoshop. You with me? Because the other way, you went to the scanning software and then you named it and then you opened up Photoshop. So that's whenever they talk about Twain acquire, that's what they're talking about. You can do it right from Photoshop. Okay, so we'll close this, see? Now you can do final, you choose whatever you wanted to scan, just like you did before. But you can review this and see how that worked, okay? Okay, now, we're going to quit this, Command Q for quit. Okay. Okay, Mom, you can pause it a second, I guess. Alright, another thing unique to your machine is, I have some software that I bought, it's $150, it's been a good while. It was only out for a while, and then the company went under or something. But I lucked out because back then a color scanner was like $10,000 or something. Okay, or no, actually they compared this to a $7,000 one. But anyway, it's got the filters. I'll show you how to use them and how to use the software. It's installed. It's called Color Set. Okay, here's the little manual. Now we're going to see if it's working. I think it is, but we'll go see. Now the first thing you have to do is, because my software was a test, was a beta version, and the company went out of business before I got the final. And luckily it let me go to use more than 8 megs of RAM, which is important when
Battery's running out.
Are we ready, dolls? Okay, again, the Color Set, I think I told you that. It's Color Set. It's installed on the machine. We're going to test to see if it works. I started to say I had a beta version, and I never got the final version, and so they went out of business, and it only went up to this system that I'm using. I have to tell them this, it's important.
You said it
Oh,
already.
okay. But anyway, the way this works is whenever I go to do color scanning, I have to go up to my control panel. And I have to go up here, I have to find time. Where is the time? Let's see. Date and time. Double click on date and time. Okay, well, no, it's set up for it, so it's not even. Normally, when you get done, you can just set this for 98. Okay, I have to lie to the program and tell it it's 1991 or something. I forget the exact year, but I think 91 works. Okay, it was either 90, 91, 92, but let's say 91. I think it's going to work because evidently I didn't change it back. Okay, so it's set for 591. Okay, so what we do is we close the control panels. Okay, we go to Color Set and double click on the program itself, the application. Scanner setup. Okay, say okay. Alright, so that means we got a problem. I'll put a pause on there. Okay, we went back and set 1990 on date and time in the control panel, okay? And then I had to choose the scanner, which is your ScanJet, but it seems to be working out. The way you can tell if the program is working when you hit on this application is when you go down here and say, if scan is selected there, if scan is one of the choices, then that means it's working. Okay. Now we'll see. But if it's not selected, it won't work. So before it wasn't.
It's
so,
not bold. You mean
yeah, it's not bold. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. You see. All these things, these aren't, you can't use these because they're not lit up. You know, they're not dark, in other words, okay? So now it says scan. So here's where you have to, Mom can follow us and I'll show you what to do. God bless you. Where's the little scanning book I just, oh here. Where's the big one, honey? Second. Let me get some white tape. Yeah, it makes a difference. You take your photograph, lay it down here. Now I use some, they sell special tape, it's really non-sticky. For this it'll be fine. Put it on here, and you tape this picture down first, okay? Now, what you do is, the way the software works, and try to keep these, I preserved these for many years, you do RGB, it'll tell you. So you slide the red filter in. They call this red, but it's not, but it's like orange, but that's the red filter, all right? You put that down, okay? You go back to your machine, and you'll go up here and you'll say scan, okay? You'll scan. Now when it comes up, it's going to say preview like the other one did, say preview, so we can preview it. Actually, I didn't have to, actually you don't put the red filter in first, you know, but you don't have to do it. Just remember, don't put the filters in until you're ready to final scan, because we're just doing a preview right now, okay? Now it's building the preview. There's the preview. So we can take this like we did before. You can just choose that one picture. We'll just do the one guy, okay? Now we're going to say, when we do scan, all right, see, you notice red is already up here first. See, red's here, okay?
Right.
You can read the book about this other stuff because, you know, we don't want to make it too long-winded. So you'll say scan, okay?
Why does it say red? Because it reads, it has red in it?
Yeah, it reads, yeah. Now that's how they wrote the software. So you'll say insert red filter. Say, and now all you got to do is hit OK or return. Return is real easy to remember. Just hit return. Okay, now what you're going to do for me is you're going to take the red filter out. And wait, it's going to say insert the green filter. Now take the red one out and slide the green filter in there. They're in the envelopes. Just slide it
It
out.
tells you what color to put in?
Yeah, it tells you right here. Take
Right
that
now,
off.
on the color,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, take that off and get a green one out. Yep, you slide it under the picture. So you don't want to move the picture or else it'll be blurry. So it keeps the picture in the same spot. And that's what it does.
Okay.
And then you hit OK again. And the other one's blue. There's only three. There's two sets. So all you do is take good care of them so they don't get messed up. Now it says insert the blue filter.
This is weird.
Well, it gives you a color scanner.
Huh?
It gives you a color scanner, or else you'd have to spend at least
Right.
$150 or more.
Right.
This was when
It
back.
doesn't have to.
No, it has to just cover the whole picture. That's all.
That's all.
Yeah. And then you hit return.
Yeah.
Now come around here, and hopefully, if it's working right, it'll build it up for you. You'll see it. You turn the light off too.
Yeah, they're just covered.
I got it, honey. I'll put it away. I'm just going to show you. I just wanted to show you the basic principle and something you could review, because that's something. Now, if it's working right, it'll build it. There it is.
That's
Now-
Marga's painting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you do, first thing you do is just say, save as, give it a name. You can go to your desktop and see where you want to put it again. If you want to put it on your backup system folder disk, you can say, give it a name, say, color test scan.
It was done in color though, but it just doesn't scan it until you put all the colors on it with the thing.
No, it
But
won't
you
work
could
without
do
all
it
that.
in black and white too.
Yes.
Well, we did that, but this is doing it in color. The
This
other
is
one, you would
converted.
never have color. So there you go. So you save it. It's saving it at 75 dot per hour, but we won't go into all that. But right now, it's going to save it. Okay. You say OK, because you don't want to. You want to do that the first thing because you don't want to lose it. Now, what you can do is you can close it up, and again, go to Photoshop again, and open Photoshop. Go to Open. There's your color test scan. And there it is. Now you can print this in color or work with it in color or bring it into that director, a multimedia program. Because I used to do jobs, a brochure, I would scan them in color, then I could save them, retouch them, bring them into that program. That other one just does it in black and white. There's no way it'd ever be color unless you painted the whole thing, and that's not the same thing. Okay? And that's it. So now you have a color scanner.
Mm-hmm.
See? All you do is you tape that picture real solid on there so it doesn't move around. See, if the
Right.
picture moved, you know, it would be blurry. And see, if you buy a scanner, it's got those filters already built in the software that they give you. In this case, you're doing it after the fact. Okay? So I think there were like some PhDs that wrote this. When you're done doing your color scanning, just go back to date and time, go back to your control panels. Because otherwise, I think it makes the other documents get confused. You see what I mean? So just go back to date and time. So we're going to set your machine right. So then go set to
It's 5498.
98, see? And just say, and that's it. And then you can set the time. Is that right? And we can set it for you. We're not really set right now. Oh, I did it wrong. I thought it would do it.
Hey, you might as well set it back 3 hours.
Oh, that's right. So, what is it?
11.
11:26? Okay. So we want to go to
But I'll have it turned up for a while,
11.
so the
No,
data.
it keeps it. It keeps it.
It's got an internal battery.
It
Oh.
Yeah, it's got a battery. But you can always change whatever this is. Okay, so we'll say that's it. And that's it. Okay? So the only thing you gotta remember is when you go to use color set, go lie to the program and tell it it's 1990.
Right, I get
And then
it.
the program will work. Because sometimes if you don't do that, I've forgotten myself, it won't work. Can you, well,
Plus, we never would have caught it on stills like at Lisa's wedding, with Debbie trying to do the what the funky.
okay, a couple other things, Lenny. I put Claris on here. I loaded Claris Works, because that's a good program for a person to start with, and you have all the books out. You're gonna have all the books, okay? And it's got word processing and it's got drawing and everything. So you'll have the instructions to that. Now, one thing we didn't talk about is OmniPage Professional. Since you have the scanner on here, when you want to use it, you just lay your paper down on your scanner, like we did before, and all you do is click on this OmniPage Professional. Okay? See if there's a piece of paper in there, honey bun. Or just lay let's see what can we lay on there. You can hit pause it so you just double click on here. Now we don't have text on there right now, we got a photograph. But I'm just showing you how to use it. All you have to do is hit auto. I never read the book on this thing. Okay? You just hit auto. And it'll do its work. So far it's worked with the scanner. I mean, that's what I got it made for. It won't, in fact, this program won't work with my new equipment. I have to get an upgrade. It won't work with mine. Now what it does is, right now it's doing the graphics, but just ignore this right now, because if you have text on there, it'll read all the text. Then you can save it, give it a name, then you can open it as a WordPerfect or a Word document, okay, the two most popular word processors, and it probably works in Claris also, Claris Works. The thing about it is, once you save that letter, you won't have to re-keystroke it. You can just, if you wanted to just change 3 lines, you just go in and change it, you see? So you'll learn more about that. So that's how that works. But see, it says perform OCR, which means optical character recognition, but we don't have any type on here, so we'll just quit this now. So I just wanted to show you that it does interface with your scanner and that it does work there. You can cut a second. I've installed a utility on here called Disk Doubler. And in fact, there's a board in the computer that'll even speeds that up with this version of the program. Now what this does is, like, let's open this up right here. Okay, I have Director on here. Now if you select it, that's taken up 35 megs, and that's only a 44 megabyte disk. So that means there's not much left. You see, there's only 6.2 left. But if we select it, again, all you do is click on something to select it. And you go up here, this DD means Disk Doubler. Okay? And if you go compress, it'll start compressing this thing. Okay? And what it'll do is it'll compress that program so you can put more on that disk. Or say you wanted to give something to Danny on a little disk, but it won't say you had a 2 megs and the disk only takes 1.4, you could squeeze it down and then give it to him, you know, and then he could open it up at his place. Okay, that's something we won't go into big time, but okay. So now I'm going to say stop, so we don't have to go through the whole thing. I'll say stop. Now the only thing we're going to go do right now is we're going to go back and make sure it opens everything for you. Expand. Since it only closed a few things, it'll only have to open a few things, and the rest will go fast. In a lot of these folders with the programs, you'll see little things that say, it's the same like on a PC, it'll say read me. There'll be little notes in there. So since you don't have a printer right now, you can just read them on the computer, until you get this type of thing. Or if you wanted to copy them to a disk and bring them somewhere who had a printer, you could have them print them for you. But until you get the printer. Now see, it's going through those real fast because the rest weren't compressed. You see how fast it went? Okay? One little shortcut is, if you want to know about a folder, just go Command-I for info. See, it'll tell you what version it is. And and all that kind of stuff, okay? Okay, cut it a second one, let's see what else we got here. There's a program on here called SCSI Director, and you're going to have the disk for that. It came with your SideQuest drive, okay? Fritz, go sit down, go sit down. So what you do is, say sometimes, you know when we said like, if you put when you put this disk in, you know, the SideQuest, and maybe it didn't come up, you know what it means by come up, it didn't come up on the desktop, you know? Well, I said restart the Mac. Well, that usually works. Well, there's another way. Sometimes it's faster though. You don't have to restart your Mac. You just click, double click on SCSI Director, okay? And Matt can probably show you more about this kind of programs. He probably knows. Now, see, this name's the thing you have there. See, this is the one on your hard drive, okay? There's your SideQuest. There's Sandy's the Toshiba CD-ROM, okay? And there's the HP is the scanner, okay? But what you would do is you would just select the SideQuest and say mount, and it would mount it. It's already mounted. But you'd say mount, and it would mount it, and then you would have to restart your Mac. You see, so that's like a good. Now there's other features in here, but you'd have to read about them, and you'll have the literature and everything. You know, how to partition, you know, all this other crap. But that's a long course, okay? But this is important. See, like if you do ID search, which is already okay, it goes through and it tells you, you know, your SideQuest is at position 1 and your Toshiba is at position 2 and your scanner is at 4. One thing that's important, your scanner has to be, in this system, the scanner has to be the last thing in the daisy chain. Okay, and then we'll show you back there, when we go back there, what the deal is. Okay, Mom. So on closing, you could view by name. See? You can view by, say sometimes you install something, all of a sudden you're having trouble, and you wonder, what the hell did I put on there last? Maybe you did it today, and you don't work on your Mac for 3 weeks or something. You could go view by date. And then it puts everything in the date, and now you have to open this up more so you can see what date you put it on. See, so, and you can go right through, and you can say, oh, that must have been the problem, because I put that on the latest date, you see? Now, I usually keep it on view by label, because here's how it works. I'll show you. When you view by label, you do this. Where am I? Oh, let me see. Okay. When you do by label, you can click on it, and label is, oh, here they are. See, what I did is I put all these essential for right now. You can do it however you want. But you can just choose a color. Say if I choose another color, say if that's like, it's in progress. Maybe you're working on something, you want to find it easy. So you know that's in progress. So you can do it however you want. You see? I happen to put these all hot, and then it just alphabetized them for me. Okay, so I'll do it again. Say you didn't want to do it the way I did it, and you wanted just one thing to be hot. So see, but see, you select it, and then you go up here. And you just go down to the color and choose it. See, we want that brown, it turns brown. You see? You with me? But see, that's like the top one is essential, the next one's hot, the next one's brown. And they're sort of in priority, they'll put them in order. Say something you don't work on much, you can leave it on the bottom. So you can tailor it however you want. You see, if you wanted something in red for you, if you said, oh, I want to know where this is all the time, whatever it is, disc doubler. Well, I want to know where that is, so I'm going to make that red. See? In fact, it's hard to tell the color, to be honest there. But anyway, that's how it works. But you can view them however you want. So it says what it is, view. You can view it by small icon. You can view it by name. You can view it by size, which just means the bigger program will go first. See, your system folder is the biggest thing. Then these in order of, what's the smallest, right down to the smallest file. See what I mean? So you can view it however you want. So there's no right or wrong of it. Okay, so we'll end that one. Okay. Not going to be working with that right away, I don't think. I gave you a book for it, okay? I put it over here because it was taking a lot of room. Now at least you have 30 megs left. Before, all those programs on that one drive, you only had like 8 megs left. That's not very much. See, because you want some room, because when you create something on here, it'll open it up, and you wouldn't even have room to open it. It would say you're out of room, Linda. You see what I'm getting at? Once the disk gets full, you're out of room. Okay? So what I did is, I put it over here. So we'll mark this one special, because these other ones are all a lot of programs. You can do what you want, but I know it's hard to remember all this. I'd never be able to remember. So we're going to put a little label on here too. So maybe you might use this disk in conjunction with, when you start up, you follow me? Maybe use this done with your hard drive. And see, because you'll have megs here, and then you'll have some megs here. You don't have much left though there, but it's up to you. Or you can just put the director one away, and maybe that's better. In fact, because you only got 6 megs here, unless you want to work on multimedia, just leave the director over there. Okay? We'll get a blank disk, erase something, and you'll have 44 megs sitting over here to work on. Or as you save things, you can save it to that disk. You with me? You see what I'm getting at? Does that make sense? Now what I did, now the way you do something like that, it's very simple, but if you've never done it, it can be confusing like anything new. Like what I did is, so you'll understand, the way you do something like that is, let's get something small. Okay, I took director and I just dragged it over here. Okay, now this is going to be a small file. It's important that you understand this little concept, because otherwise it could be very confusing. Okay, now what I did was I kept it over here. Okay, but I threw this one away because you don't want it twice. And all you do is take this one. So what you do is take DeskScan 2, if I can find it, where is it? Here it is. And throw it in the trash. And all you got to do is move this because it's in the way of our trash can. And then you'd take this and you'd throw that in the trash. I'm not going to do it because, you don't want to do that. You see what I'm getting at? So I drag director, because when you drag one thing to another like that, it makes a copy. So then you'd have them on both things. So you don't want to throw one away. So I want you to grasp that basic concept, because that's important. See, when I took director off of there, I copied that to there first, but I still had one sitting here. But I wanted to give you more room. That's why I dragged it over there. So I took this one and threw it in the trash. You see? So you can leave director, because director almost takes 144 megs itself. You follow me? So you'll have that to review. So that's important. And that's how they all work. So we don't really want this DeskScan, so we're going to throw it in the trash. But see, that way I wanted you to be aware of what you were doing. In other words, you don't want the same thing twice. Okay, and one thing, empty trash. Where am I? Okay, empty trash. Okay. All right, so you have director here. So we'll mark that disk director. Okay, so right now I just have this, we can call this director. For that's a lot of fun once you get in, after a while you get into the computer. That's a nice program. So I think I would just leave director on there, because that almost takes up the whole disk. See, now you have room over here. Cut it a second. I was going to put the next up. Now we'll review something we did the other day, but just to review it, so you'll have a reminder. Remember, this Mac has 2 hard drives in it. So to copy something, it's pretty easy. Say this was a blank disk, which it's not. You put that in, and what you would do is you can, when it comes up, you can name it untitled if you wanted to. Just you can go in there and name untitled. What does this say? CD-ROM helper disk. What is this thing? Yeah, this is for the CD-ROM. But you'd name this untitled. Or if you had stuff on here, you didn't want it on there, you want to erase it, a reminder, all you have to do is, you select it, this one, you'd select A for all, you'd grab that one, and you'd drag it all to the trash, and then you'd say empty trash. Then this would be empty, you'd call that untitled. Then you could take this one here, and then you just drag it right on top of that one and let go, and it automatically copies it. It's that easy. It's just like saying, here, copy this, and it copies it right to that thing. Okay? And that's all there is. And then you name it, that type of thing. See? So you got 2 of these. So it makes it easy. Because usually on a Mac, the way you have to do it, you have to put one disk in. This is how you normally do it. I'll give you a fast tutorial on it. What you do is you hit Command E. Well, first of all, you'd throw everything away like we did before. You'd select everything, and you'd still erase it, unless it's a new disk. If it's a new disk, obviously you don't have to do this. It's already blank. So then you'd name it. Then what you'd do is you'd say Command E. That's how your friends have to do it. And then you'd put this in the only slot you have. Okay? You'd put it in there, in the same hole, because you only got, well, that's how I have to do it. And then you take the one you want to copy and put it on top of the empty one. And it'll automatically do it for you. It'll say, give me the other disk. And this disk will come out, give me the other disk. And you have to keep putting it back and forth. You see what I mean? But you only have the one slot. But you won't have to go through that. It's a real pain in the neck. In fact, that's about one of the only things Windows is better at, I think, is copying a disk. But so you have the advantage because you got 2 of them. Okay, so that was important. Again, I think we'll try to code these for you, but I pretty much explained that. And of course, that's the power one. That's easy. And one goes to your monitor too. Okay, one goes to the monitor, and one goes to the. They both. I just use a power strip. What I wanted to show you too is the one that comes off the scanner. So here's the scanner thing. They have this thing on here. This thing will always be. You'll know this is. You have to plug this in. Let me show you how this plugs in. Okay, this has. See, that's electrical, and that goes like to a thing that plugs in, just like something that powers speakers, and it powers this interface. Okay. And we'll leave these together, but so where is this coming from? This is coming from. Well, this is coming from the CD-ROM, which you won't have. But anyway, this goes in between the scanner and the next device it's hooked up to. But I guess the best way it's going to do is maybe we'll put numbers on them. 1, 2. You know, maybe it's kind of confusing even looking at it this way. It looks like we'll try to color code them or something so it'll be easy to hook up. Okay? Maybe we'll just do it that way. And see, the scanner plugs in the power stuff. It plugs in back here. Okay? And all these other wires don't help you when you're looking at all this. Okay? So maybe what we'll do is we'll just color code it. And maybe we'll leave some of these just plugged into the scanner the way they are. Make it easy. I thought I could explain it better, but it's too confusing.